Alright, so ingredients: chicken breast, I use 2 kilos. Salt, pepper, you'll see when I'm putting it together, but 3 large onions, a whole packet of the stir-fry vegetables frozen from Aldi, and oil. I didn't write on the list there, so oil and sesame oil. So you see I put a lot of oil, and now I'm sprinkling a bit of sesame oil to mix with it. Keep it on high. The whole 25 minutes of cooking is going to be high. Now put the onions in, stir it, wait for it to go brown, add the pepper. Watch how I put the pepper, just to cover it basically. So if you're cooking for 2 people, maybe make 1 or 2 onions. You still needed a lot of onions to make it with the flavor, and a lot of oil too. See how it's high? Keep it high. Now I'm not using a wok because we don't have one. So we're just using this pan, and it works well for these ingredients. So up to you, if you want to go get a wok, go get a wok, get a pan like this, whatever suits you. And after a while, as you're cooking along, you'll notice which suits you best. Now with the chicken, keep it on high. Your dad taught me this way, to keep it on high so that the water will evaporate. Evenly lay out the chicken in the pan, so that way it cooks evenly, and also drinks up and evaporates the water from the chicken at the same time. Now I've spent a lot of time on this because your dad taught me this, and it works well, and it adds a lot of flavor. How it's cooked like this, it adds a lot of flavor to the chicken. So all the chicken's in, let it cook for a couple of minutes, then turn it over so each side gets cooked evenly. Now I'm putting the salt. Watch how much salt I'm putting in. Just to cover it. Obviously if it's for 2 people, maybe a little bit less, but because I'm making 2 kilos, I put in a lot. Now I flip it over to also mix the salt in, and to cook the other side of the chicken. So every 3-4 minutes, turn the chicken. Now this cooking time will be 25 minutes. Not to make sure it's cooked and not overcooked as well. See that the fire is on high. Keep it on high the whole way through. Don't change the temperature. That's what your dad taught me. And it's worked really well. So just keep turning it. After 3-4 minutes, turn again. Keep an eye on it, so it cooks through evenly, and all the juices go into the chicken. Why am I lost in a loveless fantasy when somebody real is waiting out there for me? Now the next step is coming up. That's a tablespoon. So use a tablespoon. I've put in 4 tablespoons of oyster sauce, as you can see here. And then after that, I put in 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. I will take an image of the soy sauce and the oyster sauce a little bit in a couple of minutes, so you know which ones to buy. The oyster sauce Kim gets from St. Albans. I don't know if that is sold at Coles or Safeway. Maybe. So 4 of the oyster sauce, and I've put here 4 soy sauce, but Anne said to put 5 for this amount of chicken, for this amount of for this recipe. So 5 soy sauce. I put there 4, but then the next day he told me to put an extra tablespoon of soy just to add that little bit of tang. Now don't stir. Get the tongs and flip it over like I've been doing. Your dad taught me that. Flipping it over, it prevents mess, and it just helps. I found it a lot easier than using the tong. Use the tongs, but I made it a lot easier using the tongs instead of stirring it with the wooden spoon or a big spoon. The tongs was just a lot more easier. I should have recorded this bit on landscape, but I was very tired that morning. Alright, now it's time for the stir-fry vegetables from Aldi. I first put it in the bowl, I rinsed it in water, and then took all the water out, and now I've put it all on the pan. I've evenly put it over the chicken and let it cook. Now there's water, added water on the vegetables. You're meant to stir fry them separately, but I actually done it this way and it turned out much better. And the added water from the vegetables actually made it a lot more juicier, the chicken. It made the chicken a lot more juicier and more soft. Maybe the steam helps with the added water, but keep it on high. You notice that every now and again I look at the temperature and you see it's on high. The fire is on high. And just turn. After a couple of minutes, turn. Continuously turn the chicken. And now the vegetables, turn everything to cook evenly, to mix all the juices, the flavors together, and let it cook. Now you can see there's added water here. That's from the vegetables, but that has actually accidentally helped and added with the flavor and the juiciness of the chicken. I didn't know at the time. I just done it like this. Normally you're meant to fry the chicken and the vegetables separately, but at the time I thought, oh, this is a lot easier to do like that, and I fluked it like that. I've made it like this now 3 times, and the last 2 times have been really good. Like there's added juice and flavor to the chicken. So keep turning it. And let it cook in between turns, and let the water evaporate, and let it all mix in together. So 25 minutes, the whole entire cooking time is 25 minutes. So with the pepper and the salt earlier on, I just sprinkled it to cover it, basically. So if you're cooking for 2 people, sprinkle it to cover the chicken. Now it's maybe around about a couple of minutes before taking off the fire. I'm cutting up the chicken, find the biggest pieces of chicken and cut it in half to make sure it's cooked. I'm paranoid, that's why I'm like cutting up 4, but find the biggest chicken and cut it with the scissors, and if it's white inside, it's ready. Don't go over 25 minutes. Alright, now we turn off the fire and put it aside and just let it sit. After 10 minutes, turn again like I'm doing here. I'm turning it again, see the steam's coming out, just to soak the chicken. And if you're going to eat it straight away, that's fine, but if you let it sit, you'll notice the tops of the chicken dry out. So you just turn it. Keep turning it until it's juicy. When you